Average Woodsman here, back with another video. So today I want to go over some bushcraft and survival skills that could save you in an emergency if you were to ever get caught in one. So these skills can be used in all different types of situations, from grid down, SHTF. If you just want to be out in the woods and enjoy yourself recreating outside, you can use all these skills. They're fun to learn, and they're actually useful and applicable in the real world, especially outside. So the first thing I want to go over with you guys is pine pitch glue. Now, pine pitch glue can be used for a multitude of things. You can use it as an adhesive because once you render it down and mix it with something like charcoal or other types of natural material, it turns into a type of epoxy. So it can be used to repair like different types of materials. You can use it to repair like cracks and things like that on handle scales or handles on knives, things like that. It can be used for waterproofing. I mean, it has a multitude of uses. But to make it, you need to know how to start a fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the old school way, flint and steel, how to start a fire using flint and steel. And then last, I'll show you guys how to make an Arapuca bird trap, which has been used for thousands of years and is also another fun and interesting skill that you can use in the real world if you absolutely had to. And I've made a bunch of them over the years, and they're pretty cool and they're fun to make, and they don't take a whole lot of time or effort. So let's go ahead and get into everything, and I'll break down and show you guys all these skills. I want to just show you guys real quick. If you guys come across any type of pine sap like this from a pine tree and it's bleeding like this, it's pine sap, go ahead and snatch that up, throw it in your kit. It is literally one of the most useful things that you can find out in the woods. Pro tip, it's been raining non-stop for weeks now. We've been having rain every single day. It just rained last night, so everything's really wet. In those instances, do not pick up the wood, the sticks, the twigs, things like that off the ground. You're going to want to pick them up. Do you hear that crack? This is all dry. Get them off of trees like this. This pine tree right here. This is perfect for starting a fire. Even though it's been raining off and on for weeks now, every single day, all this stuff is dry. Well, as dry as you're going to find it out here. But that's kind of just a quick pro tip. If you're ever out in the woods and you need to find dry or drier wood, look for it off the ground. Don't go picking up sticks that have been sitting on the ground being saturated. Look for stuff that's up high and collect that. All these are relatively dry. Alright, so I have my tender bundle, which is just cattail fluff and cedar bark. I have a bunch of kindling here. So another tip, generally speaking, when you're wanting to start a fire, especially with natural material, find twig sizes that are a pencil lead, around that size. Really, once you start getting into the size of like a pencil or pen, it's going to be harder for it to ignite, especially from a faster burning natural tender bundle. This is not like Tender Quick Tabs or Vaseline and cotton balls or whatever, mini Inferno, which is going to give you, in some cases, minutes of an open flame. A lot of tender bundles will only burn for a matter of seconds, especially hot enough to ignite it. So you want to have really small twig sizes. Alright, so I have a couple sticks down, so I'm not working on the direct ground, cold, wet ground, and I'm going to start knocking. So the technique I like to hold my piece of steel over my charring tin, and then I like to strike down into it. There you go. Like I said, everything's really wet. A face full of smoke here. This cattail fluff is just so unbelievably moist. I'm going to add a little bit more of the cedar bark to it, this dry cedar bark, and see if I can get it going with that. Because this cattail fluff is just not working. It's just too wet. A lot of heat in here though. There we go. That's what it was. All right, while my fire is burning down to coals, I'm going to tie this. I don't want it to be too big, or too wide I should say, because I want it to be able to fit these other sticks that I'm going to cut over it. It needs to overlap slightly. So something along this size roughly. So I'm going to tie it about right here. And then once I tie each side, I'm going to twist it, which I'll show you guys here in a second. But I just want to get a general idea of how large I need to make this. So I'm just going to tie here real quick a clove hitch on this, just to tie this down really fast. Just going to make an X and then put this through, not through. A clove hitch. And what I'll do is I'll just make a quick loop here just to secure it down. Nice and tight. And I'll do the same thing on this side. If it overlaps a little bit, these, like if it's not perfectly, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so there's one side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, now that we have this burnt down to a pretty good bed of coals, I'm going to put my cup on here. This fire is really, really hot. Can't really see inside there, but the key is to not let this fire get too big, because what will happen is your pine pitch will actually ignite. So you want it to melt down. And then what I'll do, once it melts down, I'll add some more fibers to it to make the adhesive even stronger. I don't know if you guys can see this, how tough this stuff is. It's already turned into a complete adhesive. It's sticking to everything. This is what you want. I'm going to crush up just a little bit of charcoal, and I'm also going to add a little bit of charcoal to it. Alright, so as you guys can see, I got a nice big glob that goes all the way around. I like to put it on sticks, and then I can just put this over the fire to reheat this. It is somewhat pliable, but once it actually dries completely, it'll get kind of hard. And then all you have to do when you're ready for this glue, to use this glue, when you're out in the field, just reheat it. And it'll become really soft and pliable again, and you can use it with all kinds of things, you know, halving a handle on a knife, you know, sealants for making containers out of natural materials. You can use it for repairing cracks in wood. I mean, there's just so many uses for it. Sealing seams in leather work that you're using. You can use it for making primitive tools like bows and other types of fishing tools. I mean, it has so many uses, and it doesn't take very much time or effort to make. A few minutes, you know, you find the material, a few minutes, you have it down, and now you can carry this with you in your kit, and all you have to do is just reheat it, and bam. Now you have a natural adhesive with you out in the field. And if you were out in an emergency situation, or you were out in an SHTF situation, you could also use this skill for a multitude of things. So it's not just something that's fun to make and an important skill to have, it's also useful, or it could be useful in real world situations, especially if you spend a lot of time out in the woods. So you're going to have the two pieces. All you're going to do is flip them. Literally that simple. And then you're just going to take them, just go like this. Same thing on this side. You're literally just going to repeat it over and over again. You don't have to tie these, you don't have to do anything with these. And you'll just repeat it over and over again, and you'll build the structure up. So I'm going to have to cut some more sticks. I don't have enough. Alright guys, that's the video. Remember, don't just watch videos on these skills. Go out in the field and test them, practice them, learn them, so that way if you ever are in a situation where you need to use them, you've already put in the dirt time. If you guys want to support the channel, I'll put links down in the description to all my affiliates. Please go check them out. Also check out my Patreon. Additionally, remember to like, subscribe, share these videos with your friends and family. Be safe, stay dangerous, and I'll catch you in the next one.